Hey everybody, so it's the day after Christmas. I think you call this Boxing Day over in the UK. But the trading between Christmas and really the first non-farms payroll tends to be pretty crappy. So I'm not trading right now, but I really don't like messing up my schedule, so I'm still waking up early. And I've been taking advantage of this time to make a couple of extra videos for you. And today I kind of wanted to try and give you a little bit deeper look at what I'm thinking right now. So we've been having a pretty wild market recently, haven't we? You see that chart behind us? It's just nothing but down. I want to show you first though this trade that I made last week. So this is just a teeny tiny little thing that I did on Predicted. But there was a market called Will OPM Indicate Government Shutdown at Noon on December 24th, 2018. And so this was a market all about whether or not the government was going to shut down. And there was a moment there where it seemed like Donald Trump was going to back down and the government shutdown wasn't going to happen. And this market went way, way down. So you can see here, I bought it at 18. It actually went much lower than that. And if I had understood this market a little bit better and had been more patient, maybe I could have gotten a better price. But I did get 18. And then for those of you that know the history, because I don't know how far in the future you're going to be watching this, but we did end up shutting down. So I sold it at 75. I bought it because I felt that the probability that Donald Trump changes his mind, or frankly, maybe he was just messing with everybody, I don't know. But I thought that the probability that that there was actually going to be a shutdown was actually still quite high, much higher than 5%. So I bought it. Now, the funny thing about this particular market is that this actually resolved to no because it was all about wording on the OPM website. And on that day, instead of having a message about the shutdown, they had a message about the holidays. So it was actually really lucky that I ended up selling at 75 cents. And I only did that because I didn't actually know if the government was really going to shut down at that time. And I just knew that I was getting good money for the amount of risk that I was taking on. And so I took it off. So, one of the things that I've been good at, that I feel at least that I've been good at, has been politics. I mean, I really, really like politics. I read practically everything that comes through, every statement by politicians, major story on Politico. I just really like politics. When the Democrats are going through their primaries, I love that stuff. I'll be right there following every little dramatic turn in the primaries. And some of my best trades have been off of political situations. I just seem to have a pretty good idea of some situations where something is likely to happen that the market doesn't necessarily have priced in. And I understand how the market is going to react to that political event, and you can take advantage of it. And that's what happened here. But I've noticed something recently that kind of concerns me that I see a lot of people do. And I want to kind of take my expertise on this subject and maybe save a few people out there from themselves. Because here's the thing. The market is just as fickle and fleeting as that particular trade was. See, I'm pretty good at seeing what politics is going to do to the market, and politics can really do a lot to the market. But that's just a trade. And what's happening today in politics might not be what it's doing tomorrow. In fact, it probably won't be what it's doing tomorrow. I mean, really, the political landscape, the economic landscape today is completely different than what it was 3 years ago. Nobody knew 3, 4 years ago that Donald Trump was going to come and flip the whole world on its head. All right. We don't know what the political landscape is going to look like in 3 years. Maybe he gets reelected. Maybe he doesn't. We have absolutely no clue. If he loses, who would replace him? I mean, there's like 100 people on the Democrat Party looking to become president. I mean, it's going to be fun watching the primaries at the Democrat primaries. If it's so hard to know what the world is going to be like in 3 years from now, what makes you think that you have any clue what it's going to be like 30 years from now? And that's why the advice that I want to leave you with today is don't invest in politics, right? I've seen this many, many times before. When Barack Obama first got elected, that was the first market that I knew. I started trading right there from the financial crisis and right through it. And I remember watching the E-mini, and it would go down every effing day when Barack Obama was elected, because he was doing these regulations, and then they would have these press conferences all the time, and they would try and talk up the economy, and they would sell it. And then one day it was like the administration magically figured it out. And what they figured out was that they needed to just shut up. And they didn't have a press conference that day. And that was the day that the S&P hit 666 and turned around. All right. And I remember back then there was many of my friends, Republicans, who did not want to believe that that was a bottom. I don't know what it was about me. I think it was just beginner's luck, because I really did not know what was going on back then. But I was so certain back then that that was a bottom. and it was a bottom. And I got to tell you, wouldn't it have been nice to have put in all of your money in at S&P 666? You really don't know what's going to happen 3 years from now. I'm seeing people saying that the Federal Reserve has pumped things up too much, and now this is the end, and it's all going to come out, and we're going to have a recession or a Great Depression, and it's going to stay like this, and we're never going to make another market high. And these are the exact sort of things that I remember hearing back in 2009. So I really don't know if this market is going to go higher or lower. Man, I sure hope that it turns around, because I have a 401k too. Right? I've made some pretty okay trades December. Made a lot of mistakes, but I did make I did make overall 16 ticks in December. There was a strong trend, and I tend to do well in trends. But I also have a 401k, and you know what? I really hope that it's the bottom. But you never know. It could go, if this is a real recession, this kind of a move, we've pulled back 20%. These can go 50%. And maybe when we get to a 50% loss, maybe it goes even further. I mean, there's really no way for us to know. But I do know this. The risk reward available to you after a 20% drop in the market is pretty effing good. And if it does bottom, you're going to be really happy you put money into this market. If it goes down more, then you're going to weather it out, and 10 years down the line, there's going to be another bull market, and it's going to be higher, and you're still going to be glad that you put that money in there, right? So my recommendation would be, if you have a 401k and you have the ability to do so, you should contribute double right now. because you get really good risk reward and you can really put your money to work. Don't let politics cloud your mind, all right? Investing on politics is one of the worst things that you can do. The market doesn't care if a Republican is in charge or if a Democrat is in charge. I know there's going to be a lot of people out there that are going to say, well, the market tends to go down when Republicans are in charge, and it's bullshit, all right? You can go and look at the statistics, and it's much more complicated than that. But I have seen bull markets with Republicans. I have seen bull markets with Democrats. The U.S. economy is a lot more resilient than one guy with orange hair. Trust me. Why is that? You've got to look at the longer time horizon, right? Politics is so close to us, right? And it can really cloud your decision making. So my recommendation to you is never invest based on politics. Never. Because the chances of it affecting your judgment and you making the wrong call is really, really high. And the kind of call that it tends to make us miss are the calls of a lifetime. Huh? So I know there's a lot of crazy stuff going on, but you got to keep your wits about you. And don't let the politics suck you into making a bad decision, huh? Anyways, I was thinking yesterday, my kids were complaining because we didn't have a white Christmas. Like the weather report apparently looked pretty good, but we didn't have any snow. Just shows how short-sighted we can be sometimes, because it snowed a F-ton last night. And it's not like we were going to do anything with the snow yesterday, right? So yeah, I think I am going to go outside today. I will catch you guys in 2019.